Hi, everybody. Happy Friday to you. Welcome to Feel Good Friday. I am your host, Trey Holiday, and I am glad to be with you guys this morning. We have had a long week over with my family as I've been transitioning and moving into a new condo because your girl just became a homeowner. So shout out to Kiana Barfield and the entire team that helped to make it happen. We'll be having Kiana on soon so you guys can get some tips and tricks from a realtor that is so well connected to community. And honestly, she made the entire process so seamless for me. So shout out to you, sister. Love you to death. And so glad that I was able to have a team I trust really help me through the largest purchase I'll ever make in my life. So I'm excited. It's been a tremendous week of wins for my family in that regard. My sons are so excited because they each have their own little space. So that's what my week has been like this week, trying to get settled in. But I'm so glad I'm here with you guys on this amazing Friday. And we're going to start out with a little bit of a discussion about something, we talk about all the time here at Converge, of how families of those who have been slain due to gun violence and different types of violence hitting our families. Oftentimes, it is the family members that are remaining that have to pick up the pieces and continue to press either for justice, for understanding, for love from the community. And a lot of the times it's revolving around justice. And this morning we were going to have a guest on, Tashari Scott, whose father was slain in 2019 due to gun violence. And she is organizing a protest at noon today in front of the prosecutor's office down here in Seattle, because now it seems as though, even though when the story broke, I mean, it was in the Seattle Times and it was clear that the perpetrator of this heinous crime, he looked like he was very guilty. There was witnesses there. It was done in public. He was wielding his firearm and others could see that. Her father had no firearm at all. And now, years later, now it's looking like this guy is going to be trying to go for self-defense type of defense. Tashari, I'm just thank you so much for being willing to come on. I know you have a lot going on this morning, so we wanted to make sure that we made mention of it. And furthermore, I wanted to really start us off with the discussion because, I've said it recently. Looking at this iconic wall, I'm always thinking about the strength and resilience that our people are always experiencing and have for generation after generation. And when I heard this story, a couple people sent it to me, and I'm so thankful that she reached out as well to say, hey, please help spread the word about this protest I'm doing on behalf of my father. And I want to say that, this is something I think a lot of us need to understand, that when we come together against injustice, it is the collective voice of power and the collective energy that really pushes progress forward. And I wanted to really give a special shout out to all of the families who have carried on this legacy of resilience and persistence in the pursuit of justice when you've lost a loved one, when you've lost a family member. We were recently talking about mothers and parents who lose their children due to this rise in gun violence. And when we think about adults experiencing that kind of aggravated assault or assault on them that ends in a murder, unfortunately, we understand that a lot of times it's the family that says, wait a minute. They press the police. If they don't know who the perpetrator was or don't know who the assailant was, they press the police. I watched my friend's family do this for years until his mother passed. And then his sisters picked up the torch. And I'm talking about Tyrone Love, somebody who was so beloved in the community. his murder is still unsolved. And it's on so many of the family to continue to press. And I'm sure his family members are still calling the police to say, hey, any updates? Do you guys have any idea who did this to my brother? Who did this to my loved one? And if without that energy, without that persistence, there's a lot of cases that I think would go unsolved. And there's a lot of policy and legislation that would never come into being if it weren't for people who have suffered at the hands of this violence that continue to press on. Right here in Seattle, we have many examples of this. We were just talking about Charlena Lyles and the settlement of her case with regard to police brutality and how her cousin, her family members, everybody has been continuing to press for people to understand, nah, we're not going to forget about Charlena. We're going to actually make sure that we do something different, that the police are held accountable. When I talked to Representative Jesse Johnson, he was explaining how family members of victims of police brutality and abuse of power were at the center of the policy packages and police reform that passed in the last legislative session. And it is due to their energy that we have new legislation, new policy, that we have new practices that'll be in place. When I think about someone like Tashari Scott saying, look, my father did not deserve this. I'm going to seek justice. And as this new self-defense claim is coming to being, she's like, no way. So she's rallying her troops. If you guys have any time today to join, I know noon is coming up, but the prosecutor's office right down here, they will be galvanizing and gathering support for people who understand that it is on the backs of families oftentimes that justice is served. And I also want to give a shout out to the people involved on the legal side, because we know that there are attorneys out there that are really fighting for these families. And it is in collaboration and connection of family energy that they have what they sometimes need to continue to press on. And so I just think it's a full collective effort. And outside of Tashari being here this morning, I want to let you know that we over here at the Feel Good Friday and Converge Media team, we support your efforts to uplift your father, to uplift the fact that this was not something he put on and brought on himself. There were witnesses to that very story at the time that this actually broke out in 2019. We are sending you our love, strength, and energy and positive vibes as you lift yourself up to make sure that this does not resolve in a case where this person is now able to claim self-defense. Again, right here, we have to try to do what we can to be as neutral as possible. But I realize that my connection to community stands strong here. And I really think that we've seen it. We've seen the effects of so many people that said, no, I'm not going to be quiet. You're going to know my kid. You're going to know my father. You're going to know who they were outside of this heinous crime. I've seen it happen with Herbert Hightower's family. We talk about Donita Sinclair all the time and how she continued to press for her son, Lorenzo Anderson Jr. We saw it with the family of Manuel Ellis. So many families. And back in the day, a name you guys might not know, Michael Ealy. He is another person that was slain really in the hands of police. And this was back in the early 2000s, but his mother continued to press and still to this day presses for justice. She's gone to court 3 separate times to no avail. But the truth of the matter is that when I spoke to her, she said to me, I will never stop. As long as I'm breathing, I will continue to press for justice for my son. And it is that energy, that resilience, that brilliance and persistence that really leads to some phenomenal cases that we've seen throughout the history of our country. So shout out to all of you families that have unfortunately had to deal with violence, whether it was in the police hands or outside of police hands. You continue to press for justice and you continue to uplift the names of your family members who you've lost. And we here at Converge Media stand alongside you always, because nobody should lose their life to violence. Stay tuned, you guys. Coming up, we're going to be showing you a couple of events Salman and I got out here in the community, and brilliance all around. So can't wait to share those with you. Stay tuned. You're watching Feel Good Friday.
It's Gordon here on Converge Media, giving you that tip you didn't know you needed for Market Street Shoes over in Ballard. Check this out. Not only do they have great shoes for the summertime, but they have the shoes that you didn't even know you needed for the fall and winter. We all know it not only rains and snows a lot out here, so you definitely need those boots, but you also need a little bit of luggage, or at least a bag to put your clothes in, because let's be frank, we all love to get out of here during the fall and winter and go somewhere a little bit warmer. So whether you need accessories, shoes, or a little bit of luggage to jump on that plane, trust and believe Market Street Shoes has everything that you need. You just need to pull up and find it.
Back on this rap ish, I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't miss my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own. Tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers, and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media. Welcome back, everybody, to Feel Good Friday. I'm your host, Trey Holiday, and it's already feeling good here as we talk about the resilience of families. But I gotta say, there's some amazing community events that have happened over the last month or two, and I've been able to check them out. Salman and I went out, and we were able to see an amazing tribute to one of the most beloved elders in our community, Dr. Maxine Mims, but also a real tribute to Black love. We give you Wow Art Gallery. Welcome, everybody, to Wonder of Women Art Gallery right here in Pacific Place, downtown Seattle. What an amazing art gallery it is. And we are here today to not only show you the gallery, but also to be celebrating an icon, a beloved icon from our community, Dr. Maxine Mims. You're going to have some music. There's going to be a bunch of art, obviously. Veronica and Hiawatha have really poured their love into this place, and you can feel it the minute you walk through the doors. So excited to bring you guys this amazing exhibit of love, but also amazing exhibit of artistry from folks right here in our community. So we're going to be showing you guys around the amazing space. We want you to feel it, but we also encourage you to come down to Pacific Place and check out Wonder of Women Art Gallery yourself. Well, I am here with the artist himself, Hiawatha D. Thank you so much for giving us some time real quick.
You're more than welcome.
Well, this is an amazing art gallery and space, and your talent is shining through on every wall. Tell us a little bit about you guys opening this space and bringing this artwork out to the public.
So this collection, Iconic Black Women, was an ideal that I got from my now wife. It was before we got married. She asked me, "Have you ever, painted a collection dedicated to Black women?" And my answer was, "I paint Black people all the time." Mm-hmm. And she said, "That's not what I asked you." So then, and that was the beginning of us working together. And then, not too long after that, we started, noticing through our conversations that we had a lot in common, and we started dating. And I started actually traveling with her as she was doing her work around the country with women. Mm. And so it dawned on me, it was time for me as an artist to use my power with that paintbrush and start this collection. I did not know that the collection would be so well received by the community.
Hi there, everybody. Sorry, we had a technical difficulty here. We're going to start that video back for you guys so you guys can see this amazing footage we got over there at Wonder of Women Art Gallery. Are we good? Salman's making sure we're good. Thank you guys so much for your patience and thank you for watching Feel Good Friday. Ready to go. Here we go. Welcome, everybody, to Wonder of Women Art Gallery right here in Pacific Place, downtown Seattle. What an amazing art gallery it is. And we are here today to not only show you the gallery, but also to be celebrating an icon, a beloved icon from our community, Dr. Maxine Mims. You're going to have some music. There's going to be a bunch of art, obviously. Veronica and Hiawatha have really poured their love into this place, and you can feel it the minute you walk through the doors. So excited to bring you guys this amazing exhibit of love, but also amazing exhibit of artistry from folks right here in our community. So we're going to be showing you guys around the amazing space. We want you to feel it, but we also encourage you to come down to Pacific Place and check out Wonder of Women Art Gallery yourself. Well, I am here with the artist himself, Hiawatha D. Thank you so much for giving us some time real quick.
You're more than welcome.
Well, this is an amazing art gallery in space, and your talent is shining through on every wall. Tell us a little bit about you guys opening this space and bringing this artwork out to the public.
So this collection, Iconic Black Women, was an ideal that I got from my now wife. It was before we got married. She asked me, "Have you ever, painted a collection dedicated to Black women?" And my answer was, "I paint Black people all the time." And she said, "That's not what I asked you." So then, and that was the beginning of us working together. And then, not too long after that, we started, noticing through our conversations that we had a lot in common, and we started dating. And I started actually traveling with her as she was doing her work around the country with women. And so it dawned on me, it was time for me as an artist to use my power with that paintbrush and start this collection. I did not know that the collection would be so well received by the community and just about everybody who comes and sees it. So it grew. It started with 15 pieces, then it grew to 25. Now we're at 56. Wow. And it's just incredible the connection that people have with these images. And the storyline, I didn't realize to what effect that these real, people have in our lives. And sometimes we don't talk about them, we forget about them. So I try to bring them back to life with my paintings.
Well, you really have done that. And again, I mean, we're here. There's going to be an amazing tribute happening later on for Dr. Maxine Mims. And honestly, this space is literally iconic. The minute you walk through the doors, how have you guys really curated this experience for everybody who comes through those doors to really feel that energy?
So we feel, the way we work, Veronica and I, the way we move is Black love. That Black love is the foundation, in our opinion, with everything that we see and do in Black excellence. It starts with Black love. There was a love connection that created us, right? When we were born, when we were impregnated, right? When we were sitting in our mother's womb, that's Black love all day long. So that's the foundation of our movement, right? Our radical protest is Black love. And so through that, everything happens, right? So this gallery, we also believe that we are guided along with via our ancestors, right? So this particular space, Veronica's late daughter Ashley, this was her first job.
Wow.
So when we walked into space, we were really just looking for fixtures for a smaller space. We walked in, Veronica felt the energy of her daughter, and we started remembering all the times he came and picked her up, and they went out to lunch and all that kind of good stuff. And she said, "This is it. This is the space." And I said, "This is 11,000 square feet." She said, No. This is what we need. This is perfect. So then, being the man, I went around and did the physical thing. I'm checking the cubbies because I figured they were too small for my pieces. Mm-hmm. Right? My pieces are 48 by 48. These are 51 inches wide. Perfect. Wow. Then I said, there's not enough. I had like 56 pieces. There's like 56 cubbies. Wow. So it was perfect, and it was meant to be. And it was the right time. When there's always opportunity out there, and so we seized the moment. and created this space. And like I say, we work in black love. We work together. We work well together. She's the visionary. I'm the artist. So she saw this before we ever put one painting on the wall.
My
And
goodness.
here we are.
So I actually met Dr. Mims back at Zion Prep years and years and years ago. And then I worked with her as well with Debrina Jackson Gandy when Debrina would hold the advances at Dr. Mims's home. And so once Maxine got to really know my work, she realized that I can help take your work and your concepts to the next level and just brand it and scheme it and theme it so that it really, really flows all the way from beginning to end. And so she really, really enjoyed that because until then, I had met her many times, and every time I met her, she'd go, "Oh, nice to meet you." And so the funny thing is that I said, "Dawn, you know Dawn Mason." I said, "She never remembers my name." She goes, "You must not be worth remembering." Oh. But we have had a love affair, and she has helped me in my life so much, and I just love her to pieces. And so we did her 80th birthday, her 90th birthday, and then someone said, "Well, Dr. Mims, are you going to do another party next year?" She says, "Oh no, I do them every 10 years." Every 10 years. And then she looked at me and she said, "Oh, I guess I should do them every 10 minutes."
Oh,
So,
there we go.
Yeah. So
there
we have a real love connection that goes both ways.
Yeah, and you know, honestly, we understand the world of artistry takes on many forms. How do you, as a person who's curating pieces and the things that you do for the museum yourself, when you see something like this and you understand the connectivity of how artistry plays out in a lot of different ways, what are some of your takeaways from all of that? Because you do this work as well. So,
Right. So,
you know, there's always a connection.
oh yeah, Miss Veronica Very and Mr. Hiawatha D are storytellers. And so these images tell a story on their own. And the real story is, what shoulders do we stand on that we have a responsibility to be transcendents? And I was sharing this with on a ride down here. We're not descendants, we're ascendants. So just that language is so important. So this is a transformational, ascending space that allows us to love ourselves when sometimes we struggle with that.
Yeah, I love that you say that, ascending. I'm going to remember that. I'm going to take that in. Every time I talk to you, I get to walk away with some great knowledge.
Right. Well,
so I appreciate you for that.
Welcome. And I'm just so grateful that my wife and I have had the opportunity to come down, because ever since it's, I'm going to say launch to open, I've been wanting to come down, but for whatever reason it hasn't happened. So today is my first time experiencing this. And here's the thing, I got to come back. Because I want to come back when, all due respect, there's not as many distractions.
Yeah.
I want to come back so I can really allow the space to do what it was designed to do, to help me on my own journey of self-healing.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Shout out to everybody over there that was integral in pulling that tribute to Dr. Maxine Mims together. I'll tell you this much. I mean, I had been able to go in, see the space before this event, and I was so elated at the energy. It was like it engulfs you the minute you walk in. And you guys, this is an amazing space. They have put so much intentionality behind how they want to showcase these pieces. You know, Hiawatha talked a little bit there outside of that clip where he said, look, there was some real thought put behind who I was going to paint, who I was making tribute to, who I was putting in as a part of this larger collection of celebration of Black women, Black love, Black existence. And you feel that when you walk in there. And so I would want to tell everybody, if you have not already traveled down to the Wonder of Women Art Gallery down there, please go check it out. Amazing pieces, but also there's so much that we didn't get to show you in that clip. There is artist in residence who is there, who curated some very intentional spaces. They were once Victoria's Secret dressing rooms, and now there are sound rooms. There's a written room, a meditation room. I mean, and each one is very specific with the energy that you get when you walk inside and when you partake in the activities that they display. So let me tell you, it is a full kind of almost day excursion where you could spend a couple hours easily there. I was there and need to go back, as Delbert said, because I was like, oh my gosh, I was there for almost 3 hours and just taking in each one of the paintings. And I didn't even get to all the way do the rooms. So I'm telling you, it is an amazing time. If you have friends and family that are coming in for the holidays, I would suggest taking them down there to this amazing space. It is something that is definitely breathtaking and it's a full on experience. So, again, shout out to Veronica and Hiawatha for the energy, love, and brilliance that they have poured into that space. They are an amazing example of Black love. And I am so grateful that I was able to be out there. And shout out to Salman for holding it down on the video and the audio. We had a really good time out there celebrating Dr. Maxine Mims. And I'll say this for those of you that know, and maybe you guys have been down there, now Dr. Mims is a part of this amazing representation of Black women and Blackness, all the way right. And they revealed or unveiled her portrait, her painting that Hiawatha did, really in her legacy and on her behalf. And it was just breathtaking. Everyone there was so elated, not just to be able to support and show love to Dr. Mims, but also that, you know, it's so fitting for her to be amongst the other amazing, iconic Black women that he has painted throughout that collection. So please go down there, check them out. They are phenomenal. After this short break, we're going to be taking you guys to another event where Delbert Richardson himself has been curating this exhibit. Oh my goodness, it was breathtaking once again and very historical. Can't wait to share that with you after this short break. You're watching Feel Good Friday.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Back on this rap ish, I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't miss my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own. Tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers, and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media. Welcome back, everybody, to Feel Good Friday. I'm your host, Trey Holiday, and I am loving this Friday because we are diving into some amazing community events I was able to attend over the last couple of months. And this one is an exhibit that is still up and running until January 5th. So you guys have an opportunity to go check this out as well. Watch this clip here as we were able to kind of showcase a little bit of this amazing exhibit, 1619, The Unspoken Truth.
I applied for the Seattle residency program. And what that meant, you see the office back there? I was trying my best just to be seen. You guys see how big that is? It's a great space. So I went from that space and then, surface.
The summary of 1619 is basically one of the stories that the first, I think it's called 20 odd Negroes came to British North America, Virginia. It wasn't even the Americas yet. And so as a result of those first 20 odd Negroes, it became very apparent that in North America, the first people in terms of Native American people weren't going to work out in terms of labor. And also, too, the white indentured servants that were brought over from England wasn't going to work out. So how can we find some free labor? So this whole thing about the importation of our ancestors from Africa started. And the reality is we had been here centuries before 1619, but we became a commodity in order to help build the Americas. Yeah, I'm exhausted. But here's the thing. These junior storytellers here is what give me life, because it's so important that what I want to see in them, that I model. And I'm hoping, I'm praying that I've done them right.
So my stepdad is the person who organized the exhibit. He's had this exhibit for like the past 20 years plus, and 1619 was definitely very important. It shines light on our history, and it gives us a place to stand for us to move into our future. So I think it's super important, and love the exhibit.
It's a vibrational piece. I think that as you move through the exhibit, you can't help but feel some of the vibration of what your own ancestors may have felt and been thinking and going through, and trying to figure out how exactly to replicate some of the things, at least some of the intentions of the statues, like understanding that this is not particularly a fertility piece, but it's a piece that also means something similar to Sankofa, that we're all standing together. I think that that's very important, because even though each figure is looking in its own direction, we're all part of a puzzle. And if we can continue to keep that original idea that we can't move as an individual and it's better for us to move as a communal piece, that would be great. But as you venture in further into the exhibit, I think it becomes a little bit more heart-wrenching for me, because I think it makes me remember how within the public school system, our history started at slavery. And so when you walk this line and you understand that we were resisting the whole time, I think that also brings a different breath of fresh air for how I think that our folks are starting to move now, and that there's resistance in all levels of the structure. And coming to the finish and understanding that we are, just a couple of generations removed from, the civil rights movement, from, just having, grandparents connected to the TOSA, like that lineage, and some of them are still alive. I think that gives me hope that as people become more aware, that they will begin to start undoing the different slivers of whiteness.
Wow, there we have it. 1619, the unspoken truth. There's so much to take on with that exhibit. That was the opening of the exhibit. And as I said, it is still open right now at King Street Station for those of you who are looking to gain some more understanding and connection to the history. There is something about the energy of the pieces that Mr. Delbert Richardson has curated over all of these years. I mean, he said this is really an epitome of his work. For 20 years. I mean, he's been working on this and has a traveling museum where he's showcasing, pieces of this exhibit to youth and to school settings so that they understand this history, but they also can feel the vibrations, as Tarasha said there in that clip. Being able to speak to people about their experience was also, I think, really eye-opening for me, because as people shared how they were taking in in the exhibit. It allowed me to expand my own ideas of taking it in. And I'll be honest with you, being there as a Black woman and working in Black liberation the way I do and being connected to community, sometimes it's difficult to take on all of that energy. And I talked to Delbert Richardson about that a little bit, that these are pieces that speak a lot. I love the title Unspoken Truth, 1619, remembrance, resilience, resistance, and liberation is what it is. And he added the liberation there at the end, and he said it's because it really is about liberation. This entire exhibit is about how our people continue to press. And Tarasha said it there in that clip, and she made it very clairvoyant when she was speaking to me about this is a showcasing of how our people have always resisted. We talk about history being taught in the schools and how it is in the books, the textbooks, and oftentimes there is a one-sided history that's being told. And so many people are waking up to the fact that we have to decolonize our education. Shout out to Rainier Valley Leadership Academy, because they have an entire decolonized pedagogy that they're able to really showcase in community. And my son going there last year was a great time in our lives of the reckoning of that, because we have to do it as a people. We have to press forward. And it's beautiful to know that there are exhibits like this, and there are people like Mr. Delbert Richardson who are utilizing their entire life force and energy to really wake us up to these truths and showcase that there was always resilience, there was always a resistance, that there was always this pressing energy from our people of the times of enslavement that wasn't just about, all right, we have to do this because we have no other choice. There was so much that was embedded in that time. And it really is on us to wake up to these truths, to understand ourselves, how we need to be re-educating ourselves, because oftentimes the school system did not do it for us. And so shout out to everybody down there at King Street Station and everybody who was involved in bringing this amazing exhibit to the public and to the community. I encourage you again, go down there, get educated. I mean, it was great because he actually walked us through the entire exhibit and gave us so much more information as we walked through it. But you can gain so much just by reading the artifacts that were there, by reading a lot of the other things that were there, and by understanding and embracing the truth of the energy that those artifacts actually display. So I encourage you, please go down there, King Street Station. It is open until January 5th. You have plenty of time. And again, these are two spaces. The reason why we put these clips together today for Feel Good Friday, and in the spirit of feeling good, we really put these together because these are awesome opportunities for you to take your family out during this holiday break. I know a lot of our kids are going to be ending their school time this Friday, today. I know my sons are, and starting their winter break next week. And so it's a great time to get your kids out, get family out. When you have family coming to visit, these are two amazing places that really hold different types of energy in and of themselves, but you'll learn so much by going there. So again, check out Wonder of Women Art Gallery down there in Pacific Place Mall, and check out this amazing exhibit, Unspoken Truth, at King Street Station. You guys can make a day of it and go do both in a day. Take the whole family out and enjoy some dinner or lunch downtown. Plenty of things to do. And as we activate the downtown corridor during this holiday season, it's a great way for you to kind of get inspired. Again, see the lights and take in the holidays. Stay tuned. After this short break, we'll be ending Feel Good Friday right after this.
It's Gordon here on Converge Media, giving you that tip you didn't know you needed for Market Street Shoes over in Ballard. Check this out. Not only do they have great shoes for the summertime, but they have the shoes that you didn't even know you needed for the fall and winter. We all know it not only rains and snows a lot out here, so you definitely need those boots, but you also need a little bit of luggage, or at least a bag to put your clothes in, because let's be frank, we all love to get out of here during the fall and winter and go somewhere a little bit warmer. So whether you need accessories, shoes, or a little bit of luggage to jump on that plane, trust and believe Market Street Shoes has everything that you need. You just need to pull up and find it.
Welcome back, everybody, to Feel Good Friday. I'm your host, Trey Holiday, and I so appreciate all of you out there who have stuck with us on this amazing Feel Good Friday. I really hope that you guys are inspired to get out there in community, see some of these amazing exhibits and spaces, and take in all they have to offer. We have a shorter show today, and I just want to thank you guys for supporting Feel Good Friday. It's always fun to actually be here with you guys and to share a little bit of, what I get to experience out there in community. So I'm looking forward to bringing you more clips like that soon. Again, thank you so much. And for Converge Media, we definitely have Weird at Night happening on Saturday. You guys can check out how weird they're going to get this Saturday at 10 p.m. Check them out. And also Truly Unruly at 7 on Sunday. With all of that, I want to thank you guys for watching once again. Thank you so much and enjoy your weekends. Remember, always see yourself as part of the solution. Until Monday morning with me and Omari. See you then. Peace.